Nimble with numbers.
That is me, nimble with numbers. Scott Simpson here. So excited to be here on a Christmas after day. I think it's the first day of Kwanzaa, Boxing Day, posts and cards day in the UK, come buy a stamp, keep calm and carry on day, whatever it is. I'm glad to be here with one of my best friends in fantasy, is Jason Sarney. And one day, Mr. Jason Sarney, I'm going to meet you in real life, and we're going to hug like brothers, and I can't wait. So I'm so excited to have you on the DFS Money Shot. Welcome, my friend. It's been a long time coming, and I'm so excited you're on. We knew we would do it, and now you're here. Tell people about you. Who are you, and where can they find your work, and what are you up to? I know you're doing a lot of great stuff, like right now, like this minute.
Well, number one, I'm thrilled to be here, my man. You are one of the best people on the planet. You're one of my favorite people on the planet, a true best friend who I can call a best friend we have not yet embraced. I cannot wait to do a hug like Rocky and Apollo Creed on the beach.
Oh,
that's
man.
What I want.
I need one of those. I need one of those from you, brother. And it's tough times. But here's the cool thing about you is that you reached out to me, months and months and months ago, and I appreciated what you did when you reached out, and you just said, hey, man, I'd like to be able to get to know you better. I'd love to be able to build a relationship with you. And we have. And so that's the cool thing about you is that in the midst of all the crazy shit that was happening this year, you are trying to build community. You're trying to help people grow and seeing great things in people. So not only do you do that, but today you have something special. I'm about to drop something in the chat. Can you let folks know what's going on with you and what you've been up to today? Raising a little money, helping people out, being a great person, building community. What are you working on right now?
I appreciate that, brother. And basically, obviously, if you cannot see, and for all those maybe just listening in and not watching, I'm a Dolphin fan. And I love what the Dolphins organization has been doing for years and years and years. It's kind of, as they say themselves, in their DNA to give back to the community. And fortunately, Scott, you have a platform in fantasy and you do so many good things. Fortunately, I've been given an opportunity to have a platform as a fan website for the Miami Dolphin community. Independently ran. A lot of people, just like in the fantasy regard, who just takes this as kind of that ultimate passionate hobby who, God willing, you never know. And fortunately, there's things in my life that are good enough where I could take time and say, you know what? There's people who are in need. All of the writers from FinManiacs had that same regard, and a team effort truly materialized today with a all-day Zoom-a-thon through Facebook, through Zoom, of course, and we were able to raise, at the moment, which we're doing through this live Dolphins game, all money going directly to their food relief program, which benefits people affected by COVID and the small businesses around South Florida. So we've already gotten up to $2,850, and the Miami Dolphins Foundation will be matching that. So we're already well above our goal. We have an hour or so left, and it's just been an outpouring. We had some, we had near Hall of Famer Richmond Webb, a guy who was an offensive lineman who really should be in the Hall of Fame. We had O.J. McDuffie, a guy who led the NFL in receptions way back when, in 1998 with 90. Imagine that, an era leading the league in receptions at 90. And that just shows to how different football was even just a little bit ago. And we also had, I remember Greg Camarillo, the number one to that 1-in-15 horrible Dolphin year where they only won one game against the Ravens in overtime. It was a runoff win, as we like to call it. Greg Camarillo was like a Dolphin hero. So they were all involved. Jay Fiedler, individual who was a quarterback for the Dolphins who won our last playoff game. Imagine that. Way back then when we were both in college, sir. Back in college, that was when the Dolphins won their last playoff game, you and I. And we were in college a number of administrations ago, let's just say.
Well, what's so crazy is that I'm getting to be friends with a Dolphins fan. I'm not a fan of any team. I don't have allegiance to anybody. I was a Washington football team guy growing up. I quit. Now I'm just a fantasy guy. I love fantasy football. I love everybody. I love, being able to see all sides of the coin and not be too tied down. But on the other side, I immensely respect people who are like, I'm a Fitomaniac. I'm Bill's Mafia. I'm, Dog Pound, whatever it is. And that's what you've done here. You have turned a passion and a love for a team into an opportunity to build relationships, bring people on, help people out, raise money. Here's what I'm going to do. Win or lose, I'm going to donate $50 tonight to your cause, man. I appreciate all those people in South Florida, people who need help, people who are needing food, and I'm a big fat guy. What kind of asshole am I if I can't share some food with somebody in need? So be glad to do that. And here's the deal. If you beat me tomorrow, I'll double it. I'll put another 50 your way as well if you beat me. Beside the fact to charitable donations, man, this year people helped raise so much money to help my daughter fight cancer that my wife's like, you're just giving away money to everybody. I'm like, yeah, I know. It's great. It's one of the best things you can do. You can just pay it forward. When people are generous to you, you don't have a second thought. You're like, person needs help, let me share, and so I love to use that platform, my platform here, to give out to whoever it is, and this is the second time we've had a charity involved in a matchup. So I'm yammering, but I love it, man. Jason, thank you for coming on, and we're going to raise some money for your charity tonight, and we're going to talk some DFS and some plays that we think are going to be good for cash games tomorrow. What we're going to do is we're going to run down our lineups. This is your first time listening. I have my lineup. Jason has his. We really haven't seen each other's yet. We're going to kind of reveal pick by pick, and then we're going to talk about what we see in each of the different players, and we'll go from there. You ready to go, brother?
I'm ready to roll. Thank you, my friend. Thank you for that very, very generous donation, the mention in the platform that you're allowing us to continue to just make aware. So thank you. Oh, dude. Oof, got some chills. Thank you very much.
Well, you know what? There's a bunch of amazing people out there, and I'm just excited that I get to have, a friend on my show tonight who I'm not just competing against, I'm getting to spend time with. So, think about this as my Christmas present, and I'm getting to spend it with you. So let's jump in, brother. So here we go. This is our quarterback selection here. We're jumping off. I'm rolling with Patty Mahomes. Sorry, I'm revealing a lamp a little bit too much here. Patty Mahomes, him. He's going to get out there. You're going with the hottest young rookie. If he'd been playing all year, maybe it'd be a different story for Philly. Maybe he wouldn't be as far along. But Jalen Hurts just in fuego right now. Talk about Mr. Hurts. What do you see in him? Why is he on your team?
I see ground points potentially. I see slinging it all over the place. I see teams that are probably just going to hopefully put up points, and I think Hurts is also playing to solidify a role for next year. He wants to maybe create a little tiny bit of shred of hope that this ridiculous NFC East still has the Eagles a consideration. Right. And even if they don't, the Eagles, trust me, I'm right now, I don't know, you know this guy, I'm in Philly. I live here right now. I'm not from here, but I've gotten the lay of the land.
Yeah.
The season's over. They don't care. Even if they go to the playoffs, they don't even care. Sure, it might be a novelty, but now there's a camp. There's two camps. There's either the one hanging on to the Carson Wentz, or that's a tiny little camp. But then there's a huge, tiny little camp, man. But there are people. But then there's a huge Woodstock of let's just bring in the kid. It's over.
Let him I love that. And here's the thing. I think a lot of the people in the former category are going to be people with arm sleeve tattoos. Let's just be honest. There's a lot of self-bias, and they're like, "Hey man, I'm a ginger and I got a tat. I got a bunch of tats, man. Shut it. That's our QB, bro." So that's my kind of thought. But I'm not from Philly, and I don't do the Philly accent. I mean, I drive through. So yeah,
you're close enough, though. That's the thing. The ironic thing, if we weren't in this whole thing, we would have probably been watching half the season together.
We would definitely done some beers and cheers events where we met up somewhere and just partied hardy and had a great time. And our wives would be mad. I'd be like, I gotta stay over here now. Where's now? I don't know where I am.
We'll pick a nice little place in Delaware where we can meet. Kind of
yes. A safe state that's tax-free when you spend money. I like it. Yes.
Especially in our world.
Yeah, well, talking about spending money, you spent $7,000 on Hurts. I like that. He's a deal this week. He's got to get 21 points to kind of get that red flame next to him to triple max up, but I don't see that as a problem against Dallas, who is one of the worst teams against the quarterback. They give up lots of points through the air, and they've given up over 30 touchdowns this year. It's ridiculous. They are open for business. I'm so excited that Jalen Hurts is going to be beating me down in this matchup. But I got my own little hammer.
I mean, come on now.
Yeah, I mean, Patty Mahomes. You don't need to talk about him. He's Patrick Mahomes.
Who?
I don't know. He's got an amazing, really down to earth, humble fiance who really just wouldn't hurt a fly.
Hey, hearty congratulations to them, though.
Yes, of course. And a hearty congratulations to both of us because we doubled up with David Montgomery. We're no idiots. We know what's going downtown, right?
I know words and football thing.
I can do stuff. I'm people,
I'm smart.
I'm smart. Yeah.
Godfather 3.
You should have never gotten in the boat with Rocco. Listen, when Rocco says, "Hey, kid, we're going to go fishing. You go back to the house now." That's when Fredo should have just said, "Nah, man. Nah, I'm not going fishing. I'm a run." And he just, he took his lumps. He's an idiot. Anyway, Montgomery, not an idiot. Neither are we. Besides King Henry, no one is averaging more points per game or scoring more points per game the last 3 weeks than our guy, David Montgomery. He's had 28, 27, 27 plus each of those weeks. So he's averaging 27.5 in the last 3 games. They're giving him 80, to 90% of the touches and the shares. He's all over that backfield is the only option. So, it's a no-brainer. What do you think about this week?
Yeah, no, I love him. I think he's one of the guys that, I think in this world of social media and now, if you have 2 bad games, if you're a rookie and don't start off terrific, everyone's ready to say you're a bust or you're this or that. And people are making fun of David Montgomery, making these like memes of the perfect Frankenstein on a busted running back, and it's all David Montgomery parts because the joke was that he was supposed to be like that built perfect running back. Well, hello, this is what patience does. Tariq Cohen goes out. A lot of things maybe for the Bears change from what the earlier portions of the season might have dictated. And all you got is a guy, like you said, King Henry is he's a kingmaker for fantasy. Yeah. And David Montgomery could be a kingmaker this week.
Yeah, no, I like it a lot. And I think that if you're not playing David Montgomery, you're not doing DFS right. Right. And here's the thing. It could be he could bust. It could. It always is an option. He could get hurt. Things could happen. But just the way that this is stacking up, he is underpriced at 7,700. And that name, like you said, that name will scare people away, and they'll go, he can't do it again. Well, he might not get you 27 again, but he'll get you 20. I guarantee it. Guarantee it. So I'm all in.
You're not even discounting the fact that it's just the matchup is so sweet. It's just so sweet, tasty matchup.
Yeah, they don't even know what they're doing in there. Like they're playing quarterback roulette. They're just like, who wants to lose this week? Okay.
They need to lose.
They do. They're trying. They're sucking for Lawrence. So it's like, oh man, it's like they're like
it's pathetic almost, but it's like you got to give them the admiration. Okay, if I convulse, it's because I'm also watching the Dolphins, and the Dolphins defense just stopped the Raiders on fourth and 1. So
I love
the
that.
Dolphins offense is taking over. So any massive body heave is probably a good thing.
I like that. I'm into that. I'm into defensive stops, if you know what I'm talking about. Let's talk about our next play as I go through puberty on the show. We both have Kareem Hunt.
Oh, another double up.
Yeah, double up. And this is the thing. If you didn't get the news, the whole offense for Cleveland has COVID. So Baker is okay because he just stays at home and he cleans up the house and he just like moves stuff around at the stadium. So he's not getting COVID with the boys at the club and all that. But all of his wide receivers are out. All of them. Not any of them are there. So Kareem Hunt is going to be a wide receiver, a running back, a tight end. He's going to get the ball all the time. It'll probably be like 67,000 touches. So we both are onto that. What do you think about the Hunt Master this week?
Yeah, I think, pardon me, buddy. I think he's a guy who's going to, take probably the back end of the game. Even whatever the guard is in the offense, he's probably going to end up with the lion's shares that they carry. Maybe not like the first, second quarter of them. But at the end of the day, give me 14 to 16 touches, a touchdown, and a couple of sprinkle points of maybe a reception here and there. But I think he's going to outscore, most of the, the other opponents of the Cleveland offense, components of the Cleveland offense.
Yeah, and I think for 5,900, you're going to get somebody who's going to get you 20 points. He's going to be in that conversation as well. So I love that. I mean, listen, if you're playing a GPP, these people are going to be heavily owned. Both these running backs will be crazy owned. So if you do that, you have to be really, really just, diverse in your secondary options, your flex, stuff like that. But these guys are going to get theirs next week. And for cash, they're perfect. You're just trying to beat the guy in front of you, one player. So I like both these guys. Let's jump down to our wide receiver ones. Hopefully we have different players for this. We do. All right. So talk about Cooper Kupp, because I like Cooper Kupp going up against Seattle this week. Talk about him.
Receptions. And I think he's going to get peppered. He always is. And I think even if he comes down with like 50% of them, he's going to get you 8 catches. And that probably gets you 80 yards. You throw in a touchdown, you're home.
I love it. Yeah. Here's the thing. Seattle has gotten a little bit better. But I still think this game is going to be one. And the Rams already beat them once this year. I think the Rams aren't coming in as strong. They lost to the Jets last week, but it's the thing that we oftentimes we don't understand about how football works. When a good team loses to a terrible team, maybe it's the end. Like in Pittsburgh's case, it might be the end. We'll see this week if it's the end or not. But one loss doesn't make the end. And so they've bounced back. They've lost games this year and bounced back. I think they'll bounce back this week, and I like that play. I had to stack. I do the stack attack with Mahomes and Tyreek Hill. I mean, there's just no question about it. I think they're the two highest ceiling. We saw it a couple weeks ago. Players on the slate. I had to put them in there. It had to be done. I had to do it to you. I'm sorry, man. Please forgive me.
I saw it coming because you have Mahomes in there. You got to get someone on the receiving end.
I like you, Jason. I wasn't trying to do mean things to you, bro.
But, okay. If anyone has to do it, it's you.
I know. It's just like if someone stabbed me in the back, as long as it's my friend, I feel better. Let's go down a little bit. Our next picks. Oh, talking about stabbing me in the back. You CeeDee Lamb in me. Oh, man. I love this pick. I love it as a good run back option in a game, too, that hopefully can shoot out the Philly-Dallas game. Talk about CeeDee Lamb. What have you seen in him this year? Why do you like him?
I like potential. I like big play capability. I like going up and getting the ball. And I like that they're going to be down.
Yeah. Yeah, all those were the game script components that you need. You saw his athleticism last week when he returned that kick. And not that no one's ever done that before, but man, when he gets the ball in his hands, he's so excited. Like that adrenaline pump dump just gets him going, and he doesn't do it on the slants and the curls and the squares and all those things, the in routes. But when he gets vertical and he gets going, man, if they can get him loose in this game, it would just be. I'm waiting for him to kick off too. So I love that play. Speaking of kicking off, I've got my wide receiver 2 darling here, Deontay Johnson, who's really the wide receiver 1. CeeDee Lamb is a wide receiver 3, who this year became the wide receiver 2, which is great. So we're both looking at that value wide receiver. I spent up a little bit more at wide receiver. I'll tell you about Deontay Johnson. He's averaging 9.7 targets a week, and that's really, really good. And if you're getting 10 throws your way with Big Ben, it's 60% accurate, 70% accurate. That's a good recipe for success. I know they have a tough matchup this week with the Colts, but Deontay Johnson is a game changer for me, man. He is just a skilled practitioner on the field. He runs crazy routes. He shakes and shimmies, and I love him, man. He is next level. Second year. CeeDee Lamb will be him next year too. Just a crisp. Player. He had some fumble or drop issues earlier, but he stayed. He stayed late. He practiced. He came early. He practiced. He's not going to do that again. He's sticky, powdered it all up. So I think Deontay Johnson is good. What? Tell me about what you think about Deontay Johnson. You a fan? You fading him this week? What do you think?
No, I'm fearing him if I'm going up against him. And, the drops were there. Sure, I'm talking a little lower because we're in the twilight of the Sarney house with the kids going to bed. So sorry if I sound a little with the Barry White voice right now. But, oh, yeah, baby. But Deontay's a guy who, Scott, early in the year, we knew he was going to slam his yardage total. And he get peppered with targets. He dropped some, but Ben went up to him in that nationally televised game after that touchdown and was like, all right, you're good. Let's go. And when you have that confidence, the drops don't get on my nerves that much.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. He is a top 20 wide receiver right now. So you can say whatever you want. It doesn't matter. He is up there. He's a killer. And I am going to be with Deontay Johnson. I'm going to ride or die with him all year. Week 16, man. I've been pumping him since June 8th. I've been all over it. If you checked out my sex pillow commercials this year, they were laden with Deontay Johnson references, obviously. I mean, come on. You can't do a my sex pillow read and then not throw in a Johnson reference. Come on, guys. But anyway.
He's a riser.
Yeah, I mean, he's the cream of the crop, as they say. So, anyway, this is a DFS Money Shot if you're just joining us. This is what we do. So I like both of these players. They're on my line. I'm playing them both this week in my third place game in my big money league for a couple $100. So this is going to be good, man. I'm loving these teams already. I think we're pretty even. I do think that the Mahomes factor gives me a little bit of a bump, but you have more money left to spend. So let's see how you did that. Here's the thing. We didn't coordinate or collaborate or pontificate or share any of our thoughts before we got in here and we did this. So we have 3 of the same picks already, which I like kind of because it shows that we're onto it. Talk about Darnell Mooney this week and what you see in him.
I never, ever like to go running back and receiver. I find it to be really weird.
Yeah.
But I'll reference to Jacksonville. Let's throw them in. Let's get guys a little bit hotter who have started off a couple of weeks ago to get more assimilated to the offense. That's Darnell Mooney. One of those guys, one of those Bears is getting in the end zone.
Yeah, I agree. There's 28 points are in the implied point total in this game. That's a lot of points. You know, like who's going to score? David Montgomery's going to go Alvin Kamara and score 4 touchdowns? I don't think so. You know, I can see David. It might. I see David Montgomery getting 2. I see Allen Robinson getting 1. I see Darnell Mooney getting 1. Mooney went 4 for 50, basically 4 for 49 last week and a touchdown. He's still priced down at 4,000. I mean, he popped off, and now they didn't even they put him up $100. That's disrespectful. DraftKings, that's mean, man. And you know what? We're going to make you pay. In this matchup, though, right now it's just CeeDee Lamb versus Deontay Johnson. Now, there's other players that are different too, but I like that you have Mooney. He is a difference maker, and he's a great play this week down there at that $4,000 price. Let's see our tight ends. They can't be the same. Okay, good. Whew. Not the same. You got my guy, Dallas Goedert, this week. You paired him up. You have a tight end quarterback stack. I love it. Very, very sneaky stack on the back end. Talk about Goddard this week and what you see in him mash up with Hurts.
I see him as a rookie quarterback who likes to get out of the pocket's best friend. And I was going to play Ertz. And mathematically, I just liked Goddard better. Ertz scared me a little bit with the injury. And he's coming back. He had a nice little game last week. But I need a stack. And I don't love the Eagles receivers, but I love their tight ends.
Yeah. And in the red zone, Jalen Hurts, when he's scrambling, he's going to be looking for the tallest people possible. You know, so, I mean, I don't like Alshon Jeffrey. I hate him, actually. Not as a person. God bless him as a person. But as a fantasy asset, he is a soul crusher. You know, he'll play against you in a semifinal and score 17, 20, 30 points and kill you. You'll play him one time in your own lineup, and he'll destroy you and get nothing. Get a goose egg. So he's one of those guys who just – it's always bad luck follows him in any experience I've had. So, but it's him or Goddard. In the red zone, who are you going to throw to? I'm throwing to Dallas Goedert. He's big. He's fast. He's on a linebacker. Normally linebackers are shorter. They can't jump as high. And that's just how it goes. So I think that's a great play. I went with Hooper because of the volume, man. Like that's the only thing I could do in this situation was just go for volume because there's no wide receivers. So, you know, Harrison Bryant's an option this week. You know, I don't know if Njoku's playing or not. They're all on the table. They're all the wide receivers, you know, and they're going to be getting some action more so than normal. I know they'll be covered by corners now, but I still think they'll be viable. I still think, you know, Austin Hooper will get you 10 points and triple up. What do you think about that situation? It's going to be a weird game for sure.
You make a good point. I mean, who are you going to throw to when the wide receivers are basically out? It's wide receivers. It's tight ends. It's checkdowns on the running back. So, yeah, you know, Hooper is going to be a tough play to go against. And if he is the guy that you kind of streamed or started in and out in your fantasy final or season, he could really help you win one. And I'm terrified of him.
Yeah. It's both scary times here. We're all living in scary times. Let's see if the flex evens out a little bit here and there's less fear in the flex. Oh, I got some fear in the flex. Jeez, yeah, that's where a lot of your money went. I knew there was a bunch of money left over. I got nothing. You've got J.K. Dobbins. I think he's got touchdowns in 4 straight games, looking to make it 5 straight games this week. Talk about J.K.
Everyone on Twitter, free J.K. And you know what? Nothing gets the fantasy community fired up than a rookie who helps you win a fantasy final or DFS Week 16. J.K. all the way.
I love it. You know, and my situation here is I spent up. You saw what I did. I went for the Tyreek Hill, and I went for the Deontay Johnson. So I didn't have any money left at flex. So I had to pay down. Hunter Henry is out. He has been placed on the COVID-19 list, the NFL's list. So Donald Parham Jr., who was of the Renegades' success. And hold on, I might be close enough to. Oh yeah, I am. Good. Oh, I'm gonna fall out of my chair here. I'm close enough to do this. Go Renegades.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Donald Parham, I got the hat. I'm all in on Donald Parham this weekend. He's 2,500. He's the min price for tight ends. If he gets a touchdown, he gets 2 catches, 9 points. He's quadding for you. He's getting that. Really, he's a spot filler that has the potential to not be a zero. So that's what I'm thinking. I'm not going to compete against Dobbins. Dobbins is up in the 18 to 20 point range this week. So, but Parham will just give me 8, give me 9. That's all I need, and I can stick with you. Because it all matters. Every single point matters in DFS. Speaking of that, before we talk about our defenses, I was in a contest this weekend, and I was winning maybe $50. And so, when you compare yourself in DraftKings to the person who's in the lead, you pull up the leader and they juxtapose your 2 lineups. Well, we did that, and I saw the person. They were like 4 or 5 points ahead of me. There wasn't very much money between $1,000 and me down at like 40 or whatever. I went to the bathroom, or I turned the channel, or something happened. Taysom Hill scored. That's what happened. I looked back at my phone. That guy went from $1,000 being in first place. Then he was winning $50, and I was winning $20 or $10, $2. So I lost it all down to 2. He lost 1,000, in one play down. So these plays, these little points, they all really matter. Now in a cash game, they haven't always mattered, but last week I beat Nathan by 1 point.
Wow.
So yeah, 1 point between me and Nathan last week. Great matchup. So every point matters. Talk about the Browns defense, man. That's a really good play to get some points down there.
Yeah, it's usually a play I wouldn't go with the Browns defense, but I think that their defense has to step up with the offense kind of limited. And I think that the formula will be run, little pass, kill the clock, which helps to a low-scoring game. And if they can get a couple sacks, turnovers, you're looking at least 10, 12 points.
Yeah. No, I like it. It's a nice upside play. Sam Darnold likes to turn the ball over, and he's been better lately, but he still has an interception waiting to happen, if you don't mind me saying so. The Seahawks, I'm going contrarian here. I don't know why I did this. All the other defenses down there, they sucked. That price range left me just like bitter and angry. And so I don't love it at all, but the game was a low scoring affair the first time around. I think it was like 24-16 or 15 or some weird fucking number. But just not a great game. And so if we can keep this game under 40, I'm okay. You're okay. Let's just get 3 points, 4 points, and call it a day. Honestly. And that's where I'm at. So what do you think? The lineups have been put forth. I think they're really close. I'm sure Bo, if he's in the comments lingering, he's going to shit on me and give you the edge always. But what do you think here? What's your thought on the matchup?
If I was going up against a stack of Mahomes and Hill, I wouldn't be able to sleep. So there's my answer. I mean, if you're going up against those two, you have to have your A game.
So am I ruining the first day of your Kwanzaa, bro?
Today's Kwanzaa, that's right.
Yeah, and Boxing Day, and letters, stamps, and other odd bobs and bins and bobs over in England.
Well, I got to tell you this, and I say this affectionately, and this might have to be as close to my sign off as possible. Yeah. I had a terrific Hanukkah. Christmas was pretty good, but if I keep on talking and keep my son up right now, my Kwanzaa is going down to hell.
Well, brother, I'm going to let you go because I don't want your son or your wife to end your Kwanzaa right when it's starting.
I'm all festive. I got the hat.
Yeah. You know what? I mean, we just wrapped up Festivus as well. I mean, there's a lot going on. I appreciate you jumping on. Love you. People can find my friend Jason Sarney at I'll let you plug your Twitter real quick. Let me go back to it. Where can people find you?
You're the man. You can find me at Orange Aquaman. And, like Scott said, if you have any ability, a couple of bucks for that food relief program, it goes all to people who are in needy food, dire straits, really, and it helps small businesses provide that food. 100% of those proceeds from our telethon on FinManiacs goes there. And Scott, thank you so much for everything.
No, thank you, brother. And I'm trying to post it in the chat, and I'm not very nimble with fingers right now. I just posted Jason Sarney's link in the chat. You can go there. Please donate. So yesterday there was no money that was being given, and now there's over $2,000 being given. So
We're at 2,800. It's amazing.
wow, that's great. And the Dolphins are going to match that too. So we're talking about, thousands of dollars being given to local people in need in the community. Love you, brother. Thank you for paying it forward. I hope you have a great rest of your Kwanzaa. And everybody else, thank you for checking out the DFS Money Shot. We'll be back next week with a very special guest. I think my man Michael over at the FF Realist wants another shot at me. I've beaten him twice this year. I've taken about $100 from him, and he's out for blood. So I think next week he's coming for me. So love you guys. See you next week.